Hello and welcome. Very interesting stories in today's video from a variety of subreddits. There's titles and timestamps in the description. Let's begin with the first story with the title "Am I the asshole for showing a spreadsheet of everything I pay for and showing that dad doesn't do shit?" Okay, I'm getting mixed opinions from this. 2 kids, 13 and 11. I'm not going to lie, we live a pretty frugal life. All my extra money I make goes into their college accounts or fun weekends. Dad has them once a month and is the fun parent. Can't get his child payments in, but willing to do a surprise trip to Kennywood. It is frustrating, alright. I try not to say anything bad about him, but he has been pushing the narrative that without him and the money he gives me, we wouldn't have the home. It's so false. And now the kids are going, well, dad pays for this too. My last straw is when the kids told me that it's dad who pays for the home. So I pulled up my budget spreadsheet and it includes all the stuff that he pays for. So, child support. And he hasn't paid for the past 2 months. The kids were upset for being lied to. And the oldest got in an argument with him since she called to confirm. We got in an argument and he is calling me a jerk. My friends are split on this and I am wondering if I went too far. Not the asshole, the situation sucks, but your ex attacked. You were just defending yourself, so nope. Not the asshole. He is. Not the asshole. Ex opened the door. The next story was posted on Nuclearrevenge and has the title "Don't Kill Your Neighbor's Dogs." My crazy, antisocial, elderly aunt lives in the mountains of West Virginia. My aunt is a mean, bitter old woman who was suspected of shooting and killing her ex-husband, but the cops could never pin it on her. Years ago, she bought a small home on some land that borders the land of another family in a small, narrow, isolated, forested mountain valley. The other family had been living there for a long time, and they just wanted to be left alone, like most people who choose to live in a remote mountain location in West Virginia. My aunt bought chickens and started to let them run around, unfenced on her property. And the neighbor's dogs were very interested in those chickens. The chickens would roam around and go over onto the neighbor's property. One day, without warning, she killed her neighbor's dogs for killing one of her chickens. And only one of the dogs was killed on her property. The other one was shot dead in the neighbor's front yard. The neighbors had small kids and they loved those dogs. My aunt walked over with a shotgun and told the neighbors that they had better never get another chicken-killing dog again or else she would kill them too. The neighbors didn't take too kindly to her killing their dogs, and her actions with the shotgun, waving it around and threatening them was over the top. But they didn't call the cops, knowing that my crazy aunt, who had had a reputation for being violent, was unlikely to be arrested. And if she was arrested, she would just quickly be released from jail and be back. So a couple weeks later, my aunt went into town. Her home's back window was broken and a bottle of burning oil and gas was thrown into her home. By the time the fire department finally arrived, the home was a complete loss. And every dog and possibly ex-husband killing shotgun and firearm my aunt owned, along with all her other worldly possessions, were incinerated. The home was a total loss, along with the chicken coop, etc. The neighbors didn't see nothing, and the sheriff's department couldn't prove anything. My aunt had a long list of enemies. She didn't work and so was too poor and lazy to have homeowner insurance. So she had to move. And her son eventually bought her a cheap, run-down trailer in town. Those of us who knew my aunt figured she got what she deserved. Moral of the story: don't screw with a mountain man's dog. I too have a crazy evil grand aunt who lives in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. Mine is also old. All 3 of her children are screwed up. She verbally abused my great-grandma until she was suicidal and an in-real-life Cinderella. And she will beat her husband while he was dying of cancer. I don't know if she's alive or dead, but I feel like our aunts would make a crazy supervillain duo. Oh, she had chickens too. You've shot 2 of my animals when a warning would have been enough. You then came onto my property and waved the shotgun at me and my children. I'm a man of peace, but she would have died on the spot of lead poisoning. However, this method is also acceptable. The next story from the subreddit Confessions with the title I might be a sociopath and I'm hiding it from my boyfriend. So, some context. I, female 21, have been with my male 20 boyfriend for almost a year exactly, and we're pretty happy with our relationship. Recently during a date, a situation came up out of nowhere where his sister became very sick suddenly. She had to be rushed to the ER and hospitalized. He was obviously very stressed out and upset about it. I drove him to the hospital and he was on the verge of tears the whole time. The thing is, I felt nothing. I genuinely did not know how I should be acting at the time. I know I should have been comforting him and I tried my best. But none of it felt genuine. I realized I literally did not understand what he was feeling at the time, and that kind of freaked me out. Looking back, I've been in quite a few situations that were very emotional for people I'm close with and I was never able to empathize with them. I've had family members die and been the only person at the funeral not upset. I felt completely out of place being around so many people clearly in distress over someone dying. I kind of just tend to copy people around me. When I was with my boyfriend and his sister was hospitalized, I had no one to copy. If I copied his reactions, it would have been unusual. So I reverted to all sorts of emotions. Hell, I even made jokes somehow, thinking that was appropriate. My reactions to such events have always felt very fake and forced, like I'm putting on an act based on how I should be acting. I don't have a diagnosis because getting an appointment with a psychiatrist is impossible where I live unless you've been involuntarily committed to a mental institute. Otherwise, it's a year-long waitlist for even an initial appointment. It is literally easier to get an appointment if I killed someone. This has bothered me for quite a while now. I don't feel normal, and it feels like revealing that would be a roadblock in our relationship. I think it would hurt him to know that I don't feel the same levels of emotion as him, or that he'll feel that I'm just faking whatever I'm expressing even if it's genuine. Worse yet, he might even feel threatened. Everyone's exposure to sociopaths or psychopaths seems to be serial killers and movies. I don't want him to think I might hurt him based on some stupid movie. Edit. Okay. All of you are awesome and have been extremely helpful. I'll try and bring everything I've learned from these comments to a professional once that hopefully happens. I'm glad to know I'm probably not a psychopath. If you feel nothing, it can be some kind of depersonalization, derealization disorder. I have it myself, and often when there is some difficult situation going on, I got detached not only from my body but also from my feelings, and I sometimes feel like a sociopath. Don't judge yourself too harshly. There may be a lot of possible explanations. You just explain autism. And that concludes everything for this video. I hope you had a great time, I know I did. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.